And we decided to catch a bus home, because my car, I've got a Lancia, a three-wheeler. It's in the garage having the cellophane put back in the windows, you know. And we decided to catch a bus home. And I caught a number 1, which, like, if you live in Birmingham, you know, it's a bit of a standing joke. If you don't, it's because it's like the school bus. There's a lot of schools on the number 1 route, you know. And the number 1 goes through a place called Moseley Village. Right, and there's a school at Moseley, which should be nameless. And no, it's not. No, it's changed its name. It's now called Moseley Mixed. It's still all boys, but they call it Moseley Mixed. You figure that one out. I never had. Actually, because I used to go to Moseley Grammar as it was, you see, and it was a knockout school. That was a great school then, and really good. They got me 2 O-levels, so I mean, it's pretty good, you know. 17 years at school, I ended up with maths and art O-level. There's not a lot you can do with maths and art O-level. I was painting computers for about 4. And, school out time in Birmingham is at about 4 o'clock, you see. And we got into Moseley Village about 4:30, and apparently the first 3 buses had got through. And we're standing on the top deck of the one they're going to stop. You know, there's like about 600 of them in the middle of Wake Green Road. I said, they're not getting on here, are they, George? And the bus was rocking all they are. They'd ripped the door off. 600 on the top. The conductor was terrified. Oh, dear, opening all the windows, gobbing on everybody. Me and George are in between the seats on the floor, you know. These kids go along with rollers in your ears. You know, wang. What a joint, man. I don't eat meat. And I'm reading a copy of the Times, you see, with a Beano in. Old habits die. I don't know. Well, I'd done the Times crossword. Oh, it's getting so easy these days. I've got it down to about 4 minutes. I mean, it's a bit easy, isn't it? It's always very impressive still doing it on the bus, you know. Blimey, he's good, isn't he? Must be a professor. I always leave it on the seat when I get off, and they pick it up and they start reading words like Wooga-humph-de-more. Meanwhile, George is laughing his socks off because he'd been scrabbling around the floor and had found this on the floor, and he handed it to me, and I started reading it, and I fell about. And to this day, it still is the funniest thing I've ever read. And it doesn't always go down, actually, with audiences. I don't. You need a certain sense of humour for this. Bent. And what I'd like to read to you tonight, if I may, are some genuine extracts from motor claim forms which are received by a large insurance office in London. And basically what happens, if you drive around in your cars and bikes and buses and things, you have accidents, right? And when you have an accident, the insurance company sends you a claim form, which you have to fill in. And it's got all those silly questions like, what's your name? They sent you the damn form, wasn't it? And where'd you live, what car were you driving, and how fast were you going at the time of the accident? What a really stupid question, because everybody puts down 28 miles per hour. You know? And on the back is a big empty space, and it says, give, in your own words, a description of how the accident occurred. And this is where you get your chance to write your version of the accident down. These are honestly and genuinely what people wrote and sent into this insurance office in London, and they're all true, honestly. I hope you like them, and I'll read a few to you now. The first one. The accident was due to an invisible lorry narrowly missing me. I collided with a stationary tree coming in the other direction. To avoid collision, I ran into the other car. I was scraping my near side on the bank when the accident happened. The other man altered his mind and I had to run over him. I bumped into the lamppost, which was obscured by human beings. A bull was standing there and a fly must have tickled him because he gored my car. The accident was caused by me waving to the man I hit last week. Coming home, I drove into the wrong house and collided with a tree I haven't got. I blew my horn and it would not work because it was stolen. I thought the side window was down, but it was up, and I found out when I put my bloody head through it. And this is the best one. I knocked over a man. He admitted it was his fault, that he'd been knocked down before.